Let's look at Laplace transform. Very interesting topic. And before we actually look at Laplace transform itself, let's go back a little bit. When we were doing Fourier series, we looked at power series, right? So, as part of power series, now what's a power series? Just to give you an example, this is x plus x square plus x cube plus and so on up to x to infinity. This is equal to 1 by 1 minus x. Remember this? And the way the notation we use to write this in short form is summation of 0 to infinity of a n x to the power of n is equal to a to the a of x, right? So here a n is the coefficients of powers of x. Now here, of course, if you notice, there are no coefficients, which means what? Here an is 1, right? So an is equal to 1. Now, another way in which we can write this, instead of writing as a subscript, we can also write it as a of n. So our notation becomes summation of a of n x to the power of n from 0 to infinity, and this is equal to 1 by 1 minus x. But since I have written it as a general form, that is an, I should write it as a function of x. Okay, so here if you notice, a of n is going as an input, and we are getting a function of x. Yes, if you notice, this is a function of x. Okay, so now one tricky part here is that this is not true in all the cases, right? So here 0 to infinity of x to the power of n is equal to 1 by 1 minus x. Now, this is true only when x is between 0 minus 1 and 1, right? If it is greater than 1, what happens? This explodes, right? X to the power of 1 2 3 4 5 6, it keeps on going, so it becomes a divergent series. Whereas what we require for it to be a finite value, this has to be a converging series, right? So only convergent series is required. So that is why this limit is there. Now less than minus 1 means what? That is why here magnitude of x is less than 1. Okay. Now if for example an, now here an was what? An was 1. A of n is equal to 1. But what if a of n is equal to 1 by n factorial? In this case, what happens? Just keep substituting the values. Remember, we have 0 to infinity of a of n x to the power of n. So this will give us what? A of n, 1. First term will be 1 by 1, that is 1. X plus, again, it will be what? 1 by 2 factorial. So 1 by 2 x square plus 1 by 3 factorial x cube and so on up to where? Up to 1 by n factorial x to the power of n. And we know that this is equal to e to the power of x, right? So this is just a little bit of background. So summing a power series is taking a discrete function. Remember here, the input value is going to be discrete. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, defined for positive integers, which leads to a continuous function. Let's say a of x. So here it's going to be continuous function. So now here n is 0, 1, 2 and so on up to n, or more appropriately infinity. Now what if we want it to be continuous, right? We want a continuous function to be summed up. So let's, instead of using n, let's say t. Let t be the name of the variable, and its domain should be 0 to infinity, right? And by the way, this would be nothing but integration, right? Because here we are talking of all real numbers greater than 0. So we have to sum up in between 0 and 1, 1 to 2 kind of thing. T gets substituted by real values. Okay. Now, what will be the notation now? Integration from 0 to infinity of a of t x to the power of t dt is equal to a of x. If you compare it with the previous notation that we used, that was 0 to infinity of a n, or if we use this notation, a of n, x to the power of n is equal to a of x, right? So what is the difference here? Here n is discrete, here t is continuous, right? Of course, summation and integral notation is different. Because of integration, dt is there. Otherwise, everything remains the same. Okay. Now, this is perfectly fine. But if you have the base as x, it becomes tricky here, right? We don't want x to be in the base. So what should be there? Remember, we are doing integration. So at some point in time, we are going to integrate x to the power of something. So we should ideally substitute with something which makes our integration easy. And the easiest integration is what? E to the power of something, right? Why? Because its integration is nothing but itself. So to integrate et, we get et, right? So what we are going to do is, since we can't just blindly do it, let's think it over. X is equal to, remember, it should remain x, but we should have e. So that means along with v, we should put something which cancels it. So e to the power of log x. If you notice, right hand side and left hand side both are equal because e and log will cancel out. And since we have here x to the power of t, this becomes to the power of t. Right? Now, again, x needs to be between 0 and 1. Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, for greater than 1, we get divergence. And when it is less than 0, we might end up with get into imaginary numbers. Now, that means x has to be between 1 and 0. Natural log of x, here remember, whenever I write a log, it is by default taken it as natural log. In higher mathematics, it is used interchangeably. So natural log of x is 0 to infinity. So again, it doesn't make sense to write it as it is, right? Now what has happened to our integral? It has become 0 to infinity of a of t, and what has happened to x to the power of t? X to the power of t has become e to the power of natural log of x to the power of t, right? And Ideally, we should not leave it like this, isn't it? Why? What happens? It's difficult to remember, and it doesn't look nice. So what we'll do is we'll put a variable in place of that. So let us say let s is equal to log of x. Actually, what? Minus log of x. Now, why are we getting a minus? Because natural log of 1 is 0. And as it goes towards 0, natural log will go towards minus infinity. As x goes to 0, the natural log of x would go towards minus infinity. And we don't want negative, we don't want to work with negative numbers, right? So what we'll do is let's take this negative sign to this side. So minus s is equal to natural log of x. So what happens to our expression here? Integral becomes 0 to infinity of e to the power of natural log of x, that is minus s, to the power of t can be written like this. And since we are talking of integral, dt, right? So everywhere I missed dt. Got it? Now, usually we don't write it, a function name usually is given as f of t or g of t kind of thing. So let's name it appropriately. So let's say f of t e to the power of minus st dt. And this is called the Laplace transform of what? Of f of t. And the way we write it is L within bracket f of t. This is the continuous analog of discrete summation. Continuous analog means for all real numbers, 0 to infinity. Discrete means what? Discrete means 0, 1, 2, and so on. Okay, so that is Laplace transform. That's it for today. Bye for now.